Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Episode 9 of the Hybrid Athlete Podcast. We're going to get this thing underway. I'm going to go through a deeper explanation of the program that I'm currently in, give you guys a good example of what a diet exercise program looks like for me for a whole week. We're going to go through day by day. I'm going to probably show some written visuals and really get into kind of the nitty gritty of things. So let's get into it. Um, Starting off, I do have a half marathon that's coming up 2 weekends from now, and my cardio training has been minimal, meaning that I've done a couple 6 mile runs and that is it. So pretty much looking at the same preparation I did for that March 5th marathon. Those of you who have been following me and aware of kind of my history this year, I did the half marathon in March, marathon on April 15th, and then I did the full marathon on May 7th, and then June 10th was the Boulder Ironman. So this is going to be kind of like a little prep work before my mountain marathon in September, which I'll be disclosing information about that race in the future as well. But for this point in time, while I'm deep into keto, while I'm kind of going to dial in on this next week and a half of running prep, I'm going to give you guys a day-by-day breakdown. I'm going to show you kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis in terms of prepping my meals. Going to go through the quantities that I eat every day, the duration that I'm working out, every exercise, every set. This is something that I haven't done at this point, so this is going to kind of fall into the bucket of explicit workout routines, kind of a program example, a program outline, so that I can market myself and my product for what I can provide to people out there, and also just kind of give people a good idea of kind of what from my opinion, what success looks like in terms of prepping yourself for being a hybrid athlete, and turning around from maybe some heavier weightlifting to a half marathon race and eventually to a full marathon race, which I'm going to do in September and then working into next year as well. So let's dig into day one. And I'm going to give you guys one message, which I really want everyone to take to heart. Here it is. Do not at all costs, do not lie to yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm trying to make the point that when you set out a goal to accomplish something and you track it day by day, you might drop or fail by 3, 4, 5% one day. No big deal. That's fine. Next day you wake up. Oh, I did it again. Maybe it was 4, 5, 6% off. Maybe I wanted to eat. If you're on a diet and you're in the reverse direction I'm going, maybe you're like, in terms of bulking and stuff, you might say, I'm going to eat 2,500 calories, but I ate 2,700 calories. Not a big deal. That's fine. Next day, oh, I did it again, 2,700. Well, I feel the same, so not that big of a deal. Day 3, wow, this was a little bit worse. I actually ate 3,000 calories. I'm supposed to be eating 2,500 calories. I'm not going to lose weight like this, but you know what? Maybe I'll do a little extra work. Maybe I'll work out. Maybe I'll go for a walk after dinner, something like that. You start talking to yourself and tricking your mind into thinking that the failure, the micro failure that happens is acceptable. And I'm here to tell you that it's not acceptable. In no way, any shape or form is that acceptable, especially when you're trying to become a better individual and a better athlete and a better overall human being in general. So one of the translatable lessons from this diet and of this program that I've learned, especially since I decided to take on this year full throttle, is do not lie to yourself. And it may seem kind of harsh, but in that same token, if you're going in on this and you expect results, there's really no shortcuts. And there's plenty of high level, motivators out there, influential people out there. Seth Feroci with his brand X and Sledge, he'll tell you. Chris Bumstead, one of the greatest, Olympia physique athletes ever. All those trainers, Guy Sistorino, he's a great guy. He was a great pro for a while. Fuad Abiad's podcast is fantastic. They all send the same message. There's people that reach out that are intermediate and even some advanced guys that say, oh, can I have a couple beers, once a week, even if I'm trying to become a professional bodybuilder? No, dude, that's not cool. If you're trying to really hone in on a diet and just, I switched salmon for chicken breast. No, that's not cool. So this is not like that tight of a, restricted environment. But in that same time, don't fail yourself. Don't sell yourself short by lying to yourself about things that are acceptable. Don't tell yourself that you're going to, run a half marathon and then you make an excuse because you got injured. This example is coming to mind with my brother, as a matter of fact. He's been great throughout this whole process. He was hurt for a while. He was out of commission training for his first half marathon. At no point in time did it cross his mind that I'm just going to quit and resign from this goal just because I missed 4, 5, 6 weeks of training. So that type of it's a warrior mindset, and I think it's very required, and it's very necessary for accomplishing things from a physical perspective, because a lot of these things aren't easy. There's a reason why there's an overweight epidemic in this country. There's a reason why there's thousands of thousands, millions of people, as a matter of fact, who have type 2 diabetes, who have hypertension, and who don't necessarily, who know what what you need to do, but the execution part is the hard part. The mundane, mind-numbing, pounding detail day to day. Eat this at this time, do this at this hour, work out, run this much, eat this much. We are not professional bodybuilders by any means, but we are people in this group, in my group that I want to represent. We are people who take a lot of pride and a lot of importance in executing a healthy lifestyle, because we are aware of how much that translates into every other area of our lives. So this might be a slightly more detailed, kind of intensive podcast in terms of X amount, Y amount, day 1, day 2, day 3. I want to provide this to you because I want to bring value to this channel, and I want to make people realize that there's plenty of good sources out there like myself that aren't professionals, that aren't just there for the clout. We're here to help each other and lift each other up. And I'm going to make myself accessible. And on my website, you'll see there's going to be plenty of links to information, plenty of links to my work, my vlog, stuff like that. And you're going to be seeing a lot more in the future, as I have a few more programs that are rolling out in my personal life in terms of side projects and community help and stuff like that. And definitely exercise to surprise. So clock's ticking on that. It's coming this winter. But let me get right into this program that I want to talk about. Let's start with Monday. Okay. So Monday is going to be 2 workouts in one day. So I'm going to start with the exercise, and then I'm going to go to the diet. So every day is going to be exercise, diet, and I'll leave it up to you to rerun this video and make a decision on whether you agree with it or not, or if you think it's too much, or kind of your reflection. So Monday is going to be a weight workout in the morning. So Monday is going to be a back workout. So for warm up, we do a 5K run. Typically, if I'm not doing a 6 or a 12-mile run, I'm doing a 5K run to warm up. And that's kind of a staple for me. You just kind of for me, I'm in good enough shape. You just kind of, warm up the body, kind of pre-exhaust everything. From a cardio perspective, you get a sweat going. You're not burning out. You're not going to be too fatigued from that run. You're still going to have plenty of energy to hit the weights and be intense with your weight workout and do all the sets that you need to. And execute at least 18 to a 24 set workout, which is what kind of the standard that I set. So exercise 1 is going to be lat bar pull downs. So that's just with the cable machine. You grab the lat bar, you grab the stack, you pin the stack where you think you can lift 12 to 14 reps, and you do pyramids on that. So 4 series of pyramids, which is a total of 12 sets. So break down the math. So set number 1 is going to be a sequence of 3 sets. This is group 1, set 1. So set 1 is 80 kilograms, 12 to 14 reps. Set 2 is 90 kilograms, 9 to 10 reps. Set 3 is 7 to 8 reps, 6, 7, 8 reps of 100 kilograms, or as much as you can do. So you pyramid up, then you pyramid down. So it's 80, 90, 100, then it's 100, 90, 80. Do that again, 80, 90, 100, 190, 80. So that's 4 groups of 3. So that's your first exercise. Exercise number 2 is going to be going into arms. So we go from that, we basically get a good burn going with the back, start getting a pump, and then we go into arm workout, tricep extensions. So one of the 2 exercises that I like to do, and there's been studies that show that the greatest, there's EMG, which is basically electromagnetic measurement of muscle fibers and their activity, their electric activity when the motor neuron is firing through an exercise. Tricep extensions, either an overhead dumbbell extension or a rope extension, is the best ones to get that muscle activity and get hypertrophy and really drive growth in those cells throughout this workout. You want to be back and forth, back the tricep, working both. This is really a cardio workout too, because I'm not taking a very long break. I'm 30 to 45 seconds at the most between each exercise, and I give myself an opportunity to recover more on the back when I go to tricep and vice versa. but I'm still holding the intensity. I'm still making sure that it's a difficult workout. Exercise number 2 on the back. That's going to be seated cable rows. So I'm seated flat. You get that hex bar that looks just kind of like this. It's at a L shape, and then it's close grip. You're focused on squeezing the muscles. You basically feel that stretch. Every back exercise has the same mentality. Feel that stretch on the way down, and squeeze your scapula on the way up, and try to hold that movement, that contraction for a minute or a second. So exercise number 2, and that's going to be 5 sets of that. So it's basically just going to be a pyramid down. I usually do 80 or 90 kilograms, kind of depending on how I feel or if I'm well rested. And then I'll do basically like 14, 13, 12, 10, 9. So that's going to be that second back exercise. And we go into a second exercise for triceps. So the first one I did was rope pulls, for example. Then I'll do basically just like a hex bar or a Z bar. I'll do standing overhead tricep extensions. And then I might mix in like some bicep curls with that. Probably a 60, 70 pound weight is going to be plenty there. So that's 4 to 5 sets, usually between, again, 8 to 12. This is a hypertrophy workout. So notice how every rep scheme is between 6 to 15 reps for the most part. At the most 20 reps, but a lot of times, even if it's like a smaller muscle group, like an arm workout, I want to get at the most 15 reps. Bicep curls, I got 35-pound dumbbells. I'll do another episode on more about the weight, kind of the movement method for a bicep curl. But what you want to keep in mind is that gravity is really going against you on the second part of that movement. So bicep is a lever where the fulcrum is your elbow. That's the middle of the movement. So the fulcrum is stable here. That's why they say keep your elbows in and keep your elbows steady. So you're basically driving the weight up against gravity. On the first part of the movement is basically just initiation, just to move the weight. The second part of the movement is really where you want to get that squeeze at the top. That's how you get that peak in the bicep. So that's that concentric movement where you get a nice squeeze in the bicep curl. And I'll add in some sets on that to the arm workout, the tricep workout, the tricep set after in between back sets. So we're finishing up with a third back exercise, and that's just going to be pull-ups again. So I might do a few pull-ups to warm up, but once I kind of get a good sweat going and I'm a little bit more fatigued, I hit the pull-up bar, and that's going to be sets of 8, as many sets I can do of 8, many sets as I can do of 7. I'm kind of back and forth. Like I'll do a set of 8 pull-ups. I'll go into some arm, maybe some bicep curls, barbell bicep curls, and then keep that intensity. So basically just walk back and forth between stations, 30, 45-second rest period, hit pull-ups as much as I can. Try to get at least 50 or 60 pull-ups in as few sets as possible. So my chest workout kind of includes that same method, as many as I can of 185 pounds. I'll talk about that's going to be on Tuesday's workout. But wrap it up Monday. That's the scheme. So basically 3 and 3 exercises on back, 3 exercises on arms, and total sets, you're looking at like at least 25, 30 sets. Most workout days that I have are between 25 and 30 sets. Wrapping up this day after the 5K run in the weights, you're doing ab work, probably some crunches. I like that. That apparatus that is standing straight up. So you hit the foam pads on your elbows and you're just doing leg raises. I like that. You can do bent leg raises. You can do straight leg raises. You can kind of mix it up, and whatever feels like it's working your core the most is important. Finishing with core work, I think, is important. If I'm not doing abdominal work, I'm either doing like a med ball work, or I'm just doing kind of like a side lateral stretch, just with a plate weight, something like that. Doing maybe some walking lunges, something just to keep my core warm, meaning that stretching a warm muscle is easier than a cold muscle. So I make sure that I take advantage of the workout that way and get some active recovery going right away. So diet, I'm going to talk about diet in terms of 3 different kind of days. So I'll talk about Monday through Thursday diet, and then the weekend diets that maybe vary. But Monday through Thursday, so the workout was at 5:30 to 6 a.m. I finished the workout, and I do kind of a light in the morning, meaning right after I work out, I just have a protein shake, 50-gram protein shake. That's about 400 calories. I use almond milk because I'm on the keto diet. So almond milk, for those of you who don't know, is a great alternative to whole milk or 2% milk. And then I have my isoline protein. So it's literally no carb, 0 carb protein, 25 grams of protein per 100 calories. That mixes in well with that. So I do 2 scoops of that. It gives you 50 grams of protein. Later, the first breakfast or kind of the brunch is going to be 12 egg whites, which yields about 40 grams of protein. 6 pieces of bacon, which is roughly 1.5 to 2 ounces of bacon. And then a cup of spinach and a Roma tomato. So that's a slightly lighter breakfast. It's about 700, 750 calories with the bacon included there. I use salsa basically. So either condiments are either salsa or hot sauce or mustard for almost everything. Steak sauce has a few carbs, so I'll use that if I eat red meat later in the day. But for the most part, I'm sticking to that. No barbecue sauce, no sweet and sour sauce, nothing that's high sugar, high carb. Salad dressings are the same way. Jumping. So that's my breakfast, and then jumping into the later meals. If I do have a salad in the midday or in the evening, it's going to be a lot of spinach, one bell pepper, Roma tomato. Roma tomato has 5-6 grams of carbs per Roma tomato, medium-sized tomato. Same thing with bell peppers. A big bell pepper only has 6 grams of carbs. They're both keto friendly. Whole avocado is going to have some more fat, but it's going to have less carbs. So obviously it's loaded with fat. I think a whole avocado has at least I want to say 40, 45 grams of fat. I'll spread out. So I'll have half an avocado in the morning, the first meal, and then I'll have half an avocado with my meat meal at night. So you're looking at carbohydrate wise. I mean, that's 13 grams of carbohydrates in a whole avocado. So 6-7 grams of carbs in the tomato, bell pepper, and avocado. Minimal carbs virtually, and then anything else I'm eating, egg whites and bacon. So the first part of the day, I'm looking at less than 25 grams of carbs, which is the intention, which is the goal. Because I want to keep that 8% to 12% carbohydrate ratio for keto. So a mid meal that I have, which gets my calories in, is going to be like 12 ounces of ground turkey or ground beef. So it's literally just straight ground beef cooked with either the half of the avocado or some more vegetables, like just some sauteed onions and peppers, something like that, just to add some flavor. I've been using a lot of salt and pepper lately just because it's, it doesn't have any extra carbohydrates in there. Add some flavor, and sodium's good for the performance too, and water retention. Getting into kind of that'd be my second complete meal. If I work out in the morning, a lot of times I'm not going to eat really until later in the day when I have my bigger dinner. So, after the 2 meals, like the egg whites and bacon and the ground turkey or the ground meat meal, I'll go into a heavier meal of steak or shrimp, chicken, salmon, something like that. Depending on which protein I select, I always want to hit basically my protein count, because everything's zero carb on the meat source. But I focus on basically getting my protein intake to above 250 grams of protein so that my shake will top me off at the end of the day. So, for example, if I'm going to eat, if I've had, the basically a 75 gram protein meal of 12 ounces of ground turkey or ground beef, that's at least 65, 70 grams of protein. And then I have my breakfast, which had the egg whites and the bacon, which is another 50, 60 grams of protein with the shake. I'm looking at, going into dinner, I'm looking at 165 to 175 grams of protein. So from there, if I have 100, a nice solid meal that has 75, 85 grams of protein in it, I'm looking at about 260 grams of protein for the day before my shake. So say, for example, I'm eating boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm going to have 4 or 5 of those chicken thighs just because I need to get more protein intake in to get another 75, 80 gram protein meal in. And then from there, I just have my shake at the end of the night. So my shake at the end of the night is always the same: 2 cups of frozen strawberries, waters, maybe some Gatorade Zero, and then my mushroom extract for peak O2 VO2 max supplement, some L-citrulline just for blood flow as well, and then 2 scoops of the isolated whey protein. So that's another 50 grams of protein. So really the gap filler, the X factor, a lot of times will be my dinner, depending on if I did, how much ground beef I had, if I did have ground beef or ground turkey, because the macronutrient profile on those is slightly different in terms of fat content. Ground beef, I would point out, you want to stay away from 93 lean ground beef. If you're doing keto, you're not going to get enough fat and calories in, especially if you're as active as I am. So just kind of a Monday through Thursday picture on diet is that. You're looking at 3 solid meals, sometimes a snack in there that might be just almonds, nuts, or something, or if I need some extra calories, or even I might just increase the portion, add some peanut butter in there, 2 scoops of peanut butter with some more hydration, just some Gatorade or something. But staying pretty strict with that formula: 5 meals, 2 are liquid meals, and then 3 are whole food meals. So I'm getting at least 4,000 calories in at this point. Maybe 42, 4,300. If I have like a ribeye steak or a lot of sirloin for dinner or something, that's going to get me kind of on the upper limit of that, that 4,000 to 4,400 calorie range. But that kind of sums up Monday through Thursday. So let's go back to day 2 of training. So we went over Monday's back and arms. And again, Monday evening is going to be a second workout. A lot of times it might be like a 700-meter swim and like a 20, 30-minute bike. Cardio isn't too intense right now, just because I'm trying to, maintain my mass on this keto diet. I'm really focused on heavier weight training. So getting into Tuesday is going to be a big chest day. So Tuesday I do pretty much all out chest. I go exercise 1 is flat bench. So my body weight is 180, 181. So I basically just rep at 185 pounds to 205 pounds. I'll throw maybe 35-pound plates on there. I'll do sets of 6 to 8 on those, and then I'll go down to sets of 10 on the 185 as much as I can. I kind of pyramid it down. So I'll do 10, 10, 10, 8, 8, 8, 6, 6, 6. That's kind of like a hypertrophy chest day that I do. And I really focus on getting the squeeze. And I take the barbell down and I pause it and then I come up, and I really want to control that weight if it's 185. That's not a lot of weight, but I want to make sure I get the most out of each exercise and I get the most out of that exercise and that movement. So pretty much 6 to 8 sets on flat bench. And then exercise 2 is going to be, usually it's going to be a dumbbell incline. So I like to change angles. I'll go from flat to dumbbell incline. I'll grab between 75 to 80-pound dumbbells, and I'll do another pyramid type thing where I do 5 sets. I might do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. 13, 11, 10, 8, 7, kind of whatever I can get unassisted because I don't have anyone spotting me. But whatever I can do is basically still every set is max effort, meaning like I barely got that last rep or I failed and just dropped the dumbbells. I think that's kind of the method that I use that works the best for me in terms of feeling hypertrophy and feeling like I'm working the muscle the most. Exercise 3 is going to be dumbbell flies. So I'll either flatten out the bench or I'll do an incline. I'll mix in the incline dumbbell flies. So basically just go them out, stretch as far down as I can, come back up with them. That's exercise 3, and that's going to be another one that's about 5 sets. So do the math here. We're at about 17 sets for chest, and there's one more exercise, which is either cable flies or it's going to be just the press machine, the incline press machine, where you put the plates on, and it's kind of I think it's a Hammer Strength is the company that makes that machine. But you're basically just seated. You can either do it flat or you can do it in an incline. Either one works. I would recommend whichever section of your chest you're trying to work more. If you're trying to work the upper chest, do incline. If you're trying to work the whole chest, just do the flat or just do the regular chest machine for the Hammer Strength. And then going into kind of finishing up the exercise, you might add on some push-ups with some arm work or something. And just kind of I do some isolation work and kind of overload the weaker muscles. So your lockout muscle in the bench press is a tricep. So basically just doing maybe some extra lockout work. Like if you do a rope extension with the tricep, basically get that rope all the way down so you force yourself to kind of push out and extend that last part of the movement. Full range of motion, and it kind of isolates it fulfills the principle of overload for isolation for that muscle group for the tricep. So I think that's a good way to go about getting some extra work in your arms too. I like to run my programs where you're getting like good arm work out of grip strength work like pretty much every day. I even mix in some pull-ups, just not on back day but on other days as well. So that kind of wraps up chest day. That's 4 key exercises and then some accessory work again with arms. Wednesday is going to be more of a heavier cardio day. So for example, this last Wednesday that I did 5 rounds of boxing. I did another 5K run, and then I did 5 rounds of boxing. So 5 rounds of boxing is pretty intense if you challenge yourself to do 3-minute rounds and really don't take a break and just focus on power movements, technical movements. So hit the bag as hard as you can, back off, go into more of like a technique, just work on your combos and stuff and your footwork. So that's a great workout. So I do that, and I'll finish up. I'll get into some shoulder work there. So I like to mix my boxing day with my shoulder workouts. So shoulder work is just going to be dumbbell military press right out of the 5 rounds of boxing in the run. So shoulder press is going to be like 55, 60-pound dumbbells, probably same rep scheme. So everything's similar. It's going to be like 12, 13 reps from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, whatever I can do. And then I'll do like a drop set. So I like doing drop sets with shoulders because you really get good hypertrophy from doing that. So say, for example, I'll do a barbell military press with 45-pound or 35-pound plates. Right after set 5, I'll drop for a 6th set. My 6th set is going to be just a 25-pound plates, and I'll just crank that out as much as I can, 15, 16, 17 reps. And I will point out, I do that a lot of times with flat bench too. So maybe I'll finish like a 205-pound bench press, and then I'll just drop the 35 pounds off, and I'll do 135 as many as I can, try to get 18 to 22 reps, something like that, and really just work on just burning out the muscle that way. So shoulders is similar. 4 main exercise for the shoulders. So I got dumbbell press, I got barbell military press. Then I got forward lateral raises with dumbbells. So I'll grab 25, 30-pound dumbbells and just raise them. And then I'll mix in like bicep curls with that just as a variation. So exercise 4 on shoulders is going to be one thing that I've started to really like is just the cable raises. So you stand basically with a straight arm and you just put the cable to the lowest setting and just use the pulley just to raise the cable up and get like a nice lateral deltoid work that way. So those 4 exercises are really productive, especially after doing a boxing round where boxing already is hard enough on your shoulders. So I've pre-exhausted the muscle pretty good before I get into the 4 shoulder exercises. But that's kind of the layout for Wednesday. So you're looking at basically 5K run, maybe a bike that's mixed into a 15, 20-minute bike because I'm kind of not really training for endurance at this point, but a short bike. And then we go into boxing and then shoulder work and some accessory arm work. Thursday is going to be kind of the big leg day that I do. So again, like we're looking at basically each exercise has 5, 6, 7 sets. But we're focusing on the heavy lifting, like barbell work. So exercise 1 is just straight deadlift, conventional deadlift. At this point, I was, happy with myself. I was able to get 345 up for sets of 5 or 6 this last time, which is good. Typically, I'll do, 315 for kind of a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 scheme where I get 5 sets and then I'll do like a drop set with 275 or something. And just hit like 10 to 12, 15 reps as much as I can, kind of get a nice rhythm and just move that weight around. And I've discovered that when you kind of do a drop set on deadlift, as long as your form's good and you're not breaking down, you really get like a burn on the quads. That really forces you just to kind of, keep your back straight, but just go up and down with it. Don't slam the bar, don't slam the weight on the floor, but definitely come down, touch the floor, come back up with it quick. You're not stopping. If I'm on a set where I'm doing heavier lifting, like, 345, 365 on the deadlift, I'll do that rep, I'll come down with it, and then I'll just like stay there, regroup, focus. 2 seconds later, I come up with it. My intention on the lighter drop set is just to burn that motherfucker. Just basically just as quickly as you can. I mean, just go back up with it. And your legs should be on fire after that deadlift set. So your 7 sets of deadlift, basically 7 working sets in before you even get to the squat machine. Once you get to the squat machine, you're trying to basically do at least 5 sets, maybe 6. So you're basically 6 and 6 from deadlift to squat, functioning working sets, heavier weight for whatever's heavier weight for you. So for me, after that intensity, 245 is plenty heavy for me. And I'll do 245 pounds, sometimes even just 225. And I'll do that same rep scheme, basically 14, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, something like that. Try to get 6 sets in. And then I'll do another drop set of 135 on the squat. So basically what I do is I'll be, in pretty rough shape after that last set of squats at 225 or 245. And then I'll go right into a 135-pound barbell squat. And I'll do as much as I can, just like bench, just like shoulder drop set, maybe 20 to 24 reps, as much as I can get. And then I'm really ready for machine work at that point, as those first 2 exercises knocked me out. I will point out too, before leg day, I warm up with like a 20, 24-minute run, maybe a slower speed, but just to kind of get the blood flowing. And I want to be sweating before I go into the deadlift because, you're working the whole posterior chain. So I want to make sure everything's nice and warmed up. So after those 2 main exercises, the compound movements, I go into machine work. So you're looking at, first one is leg curls. So I do seated leg curls or lying leg curls. So you have that little roller that you want to adjust it to the nice setting. So it's basically right, the same location as your lower shin, like right above your shoelace, just on the back of your, right above your heel. That's where you want that roller place. So you get a nice strain on the leg and on the muscle, but that lever system is really getting the most out of the movement. So I think that's important. People might cheat themselves if they don't adjust the setting correctly on some of those machines. So Machines are great because they kind of force you to be symmetric, but they're also, taking away from that core strength of stability and, balancing the weight. So there's pros and cons to each one. So that would be 5, 6 sets again. Exercise 4 is going to be leg extension. So at this point, the deadlift is quad dominant. Squats are kind of both, the entire leg, but definitely quad dominant as well, depending on how you squat. Especially if you front squat, you can get some great quad work that way. But for me, exercise 4 is going to be leg extensions that are anywhere between, like, I just kind of, kind of fluctuate between 90 to 150 pounds on those. 130 for the most part. So, I'll do 130, 15 reps, and I'll kind of drop it down 12, 10. I might drop the weight, do another set of 12. At this point, I'm going for more volume on the machine work than I am just on, hypertrophy between, 7 to 10 reps. I think that's a tad bit low. I try to use whatever weight I can to stick around 10, 11, 12, 13 reps. So say, for example, I'm dead after doing 130 pounds for 12 reps. I'll do 110 pounds for another 12 or another 14 reps, and just kind of keep that intensity, keep that movement going, and really just, try to crush myself at the end of that machine work, because that's kind of the last major movement for leg day. And at this point, I'm 25, 26 sets in. So, I hit a calf work. I'll just do like 3 or 4 sets of calves, and that's about it for legs. That workout takes me only about an hour, just because the intensity's high. I mean, I don't take too many long breaks between deadlift sets or squat sets. I keep it rolling through the whole thing. So that day, I've definitely worked into a point where I'm 4 days into my week and I'm feeling it. So that being said, segue into Friday. Friday's a lighter day, so Friday is more of an instinctual day. It's the one day that I kind of make a decision on the fly what I'm going to do. Say, for example, I had a heavy shoulder day in boxing, and then I did legs, and my whole backside is just kind of killing me, or my posterior chain for sure. I might just do like an upper back, get in some extra pull-ups, get some extra arm work in, maybe do more cardio. At this point for this half marathon, Friday is my day where I would do a 6-mile run, or I might even work up to a 12-mile run this upcoming Friday and really get some cardio work in that way. But Friday is just more of kind of like a mixture here and there for 75 to 90 minutes, and you're getting good work in. In my programs that I've made, there's more explicit and description and detail on what exactly you want to do. But for me personally, I'm in the school of thought where I'm kind of more of an advanced trainer. I feel like I'm in tune with my body, and I know what my body needs. If I realize that my body needs maybe a little bit more, I can use some shoulder work. I'll do some more dumbbell shoulder press. I'll do a different variation. There's a lot more variations than the 4 exercises that I do for a muscle group each day. And that being said, I'll save it for another episode, but we're looking at basically like mesocycles, where phase 1 is going to be this week that I'm explaining. And then phase 2, a month down the road, is going to be same muscle groups, but just different exercises. So that's kind of how I like to run things. But Friday is just kind of up in the air. It's kind of a wild card, but follows the same scheme. Dynamic warm up. If you're just going to run heavy, maybe just do like a 6-mile run and then go to some push-ups and pull-ups, nickels and dimes, as David Goggins says. And then just kind of finish the workout that way. Or if you're kind of just, stick with the 5K run, and then, go into more of like a different back workout. Like, I like those back machines that just have the handle where you load the plates, and then you're basically just seated with a chest pad. And then you basically just want to focus on not lifting your chest back, but staying engaged, and just really just focus on squeezing the lats. Exercises like that are a nice variation to kind of confuse your muscle, and give yourself a different movement to work on. So it's kind of, dealer's choice on those days. I will say Saturday, when I'm in off season, when I'm kind of in bodybuilding mode, I'll revisit a leg machine workout 2 days after, and I'm still sore, but I just want to crush my legs because they're one of my weaker body parts. So depending on the time of the year, it'll be like another, 3 or 4 exercises on leg machines, coupled with like an incline bench press. We'll do barbell incline. I usually do dumbbell incline, but I'll mix in like a barbell incline press. So Saturday is just kind of it's either Saturday is like lower body, upper body combo. And again, it follows kind of the 2 to 3 exercise on each upper lower body. So you're looking at 6 exercises, 4 to 5 sets on each one. Again, 26, 27, 28 sets. That's kind of the foundation for my program, is sets in the 20s, reps between 7 to 15. Heavier lifts will be maybe 6, 7 reps. Sometimes I do 3 or 4 or 5 reps of deadlift just because it's the biggest muscle group. But that's kind of a foundation. And just to wrap up this conversation, I didn't speak about my other diet variations. So there's days where if I need more calories or if I want to kind of change things up for breakfast or lunch or dinner, um, I'll have like a just some pork ribs or some chicken wings or something. So I use olive oil and I fried some chicken wings the other day and I had about 10 to 15 chicken wings. So that kind of gives me a few extra calories, a little bit more fat. Again, the sauce is just keto friendly. Nothing really is going to throw me off and throw my body out of ketosis. I'll have to do some more research into exactly what you're supposed to feel when you are fat adapted and you are in ketosis. But my feedback is that I'm definitely in ketosis, and I was after about 6 or 7 days into this thing. So I've done a good job, like I said, of not lying to myself. And one adjustment that I made was stop drinking 2% milk, because 2% milk has like 10 grams of carbs, 9 or 10 grams of carbs per cup, I think. And I'll have a cup and a half of milk for a cup of coffee every now and then, or even a protein shake. So I made that adjustment and I dropped down like 15 to 20 grams of carbs a day on that. So that was a good decision. And again, like my timing of eating is different from compared to Monday and Thursday because my duties are different. So if I am off work and I go take my son somewhere, if I sleep in a little bit later, or maybe I work out at 8 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. on Saturday, brunch might be like a few more, mixing some egg yolks to my brunch, add a few fats, but it's still pretty much 12 egg whites. The protein kind of stays the same, but I kind of mess around with the fat content. A lot of times dinner might be dinner is red meat for the most part, like sirloin steak, peppers, avocado, stuff like that. I'm mixing like 12 ounces of salmon, 14 ounces of salmon. So, it's not too expensive. A salmon's about $14, $10 to $14 a pound, depending on where you go these days. But I get like a nice salmon meal. I just saute it with olive oil. Again, spinach, squash. Squash is a little bit heavier in carbs, but it's still, from my understanding, it's keto friendly. But I only have like literally half of a squash just to add some flavor to the salmon that I'm eating, just with like salt and pepper and lemon or something. So that's Saturday, and Sunday is pretty much the same. Might have a cheat meal either Friday or Sunday for the most part. Add a few calories. It's added fat because I'm on keto, um, obviously. But again, just kind of keeping my body weight where it's at and seeing my physique change. Once my website's up and running, I'm going to kind of post some of my progress pics. And I do it on this YouTube channel too, just on the shorts and on my Instagram as well. Nate.rv91 is my Instagram if you want to check that out. That's where I have maybe a little bit more, some more vanity pics where it's just like, me checking out my back shot or something, or my front double bicep or something like that, and making sure that I'm getting bigger and making progress. So I'm not a big guy by any means, but I feel like I'm definitely in pretty good shape right now. And getting a 6-pack for me has kind of been the one narcissistic goal that I've had from doing this keto diet. So I feel like that's in the cards for me coming up within this next month. So yeah, that's all I got. This was a long one, and I know I spoke quick, but I had to cram a lot of information in on this one. So I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I hope people get some value out of this. And any opinions or any comments, please just let me know. This is what I enjoy doing. It doesn't take me much time to put these videos together, but the more attention to detail that I put into it, and the more effort I put into kind of an intro and just kind of like maybe a music dynamic intro, a graphic intro and stuff, and maybe adding some information and some links below and everything, I can enhance these videos. And by the time we get to episode 15, episode 20, we're rocking and rolling. So again, the message for this one is, do not lie to yourself, because if you do, you're not going to win. You're not going to make progress, and you're not going to satisfy kind of your intentions and your purpose and what you're doing. So I appreciate your time, and I hope everyone has a good week. And thank you.